Hiya. Okay, then quickly, whilst my little boy is asleep again, I did this once and he woke up and it didn't come out very clearly. So very quickly, I'm just going to quickly show you how different ways in which we can use our Stampin' Write markers. Now, I've got this neutral set here, which I'm going to be using first. I'm going to be colouring in this little kitty, and I'm going to be doing him in brown. I know I do lots in brown, but I just think these natural neutral colours are just absolutely fantastic. So the first way to colour in a kitty, or first way to colour in anything, this stamp is from the same stamp set, Storybook Friends, that I used last time with the little bunny rabbit. And this first one that I'm going to use is Crumb Cake, and with the thick end I'm just going to very lightly colour him in. I'm only going to do half of him just to save time, because I don't think my little man's going to stay asleep for as long as I would hope. Just colour him in, and you can probably see where I've gone out the lines because I'm doing it a bit too quickly. And I'm going to go on to the next one whilst he's drying, which won't take too long anyway. And on this one I'm just going to colour the back of him in. Now you can either use one marker and just go over the darker bits. So I've coloured that in Crumb Cake, and I'm going to go over it in the same pen and just use that pen to shade in some of the darker bits and just go over them. Maybe you want to. So, not sure how well you can see from there. I had my camera in a different position, so I'm not entirely sure if it's focused in or not. But then, as you should be able to see how you have those darker areas, and when it dries, it just dries in nicely. With this one, we're going to use a soft suede, so it's a little bit darker than the Crumb Cake, and we're going to use our thick end again. And I'm just going to go and do a few of these darker bits. And the way I'm going to shade them in, because as you can see, it's a little bit too dark, and I'm just going to use the Crumb Cake pen again and just go over where it meets Crumb Cake to soft suede, so just around these edges of that line, and just kind of use my Crumb Cake pen as a blender pen, so that they just all smudge in nicely together. And there's that one. The other way to do it, which is my absolutely favourite way of colouring in, is using the blender pens. So I'm just going to use my box here, because you can use anything plastic or anything like that, just to use your pens on. You can also do it with the ink pad. If you have an ink pad, you can press down the top or put it onto something plastic, and then you just use your blender pens, and you literally just colour over the area that you've made nice and moist, and you just start off with the dark bits. Take a bit more of that. Start off with the dark bits. Maybe I should have done a bit of a darker colour. I think Crumb Cake's a little bit too light. Let's try that one. There we go. Soft suede. Start off with the darker bits. So where there'll be a little bit more shading. And then just continue to colour until the ink runs out of the pen. And this is my absolutely favourite way of colouring. I love my blender pens, because they just make things so nice, and you can just add a little bit of ink here and there to the darker bits to make them a little bit darker. And there you have it. Absolutely wonderful. And just remember, when you're using blender pens, just have a bit of scrap paper nearby, just so you can run off your colour so it's nice and clean afterwards. And if you're going to be doing this technique, have something like a bit of kitchen paper handy just to wipe off any mess that you make. Okay, the one and last thing I'm going to show you using the neutrals pens is just going to show you how to mask things. And this is my basic grey marker, and I've got my Storybook stamp Friends here, and this has the sentiment written on it, Friends. Now, not everyone might not want that sentiment. People might not want the ball of wool, might want to exchange it for a butterfly or something, so you've got a little kitten playing with a butterfly. I quite like doing that. So to do that with the pens, this one's just a clear stamp, so it just comes on and off, quite and simple. So you can use the block for other stamps. And just use the edge of your pen. Try not to use the tip too much because we don't want to damage the tip. Because you quite like that for colouring in and things. And you just use the edge of your pen just to colour things in. And I can hear my little boy grumbling away, which is usually a sign that he's going to wake up soon. So hopefully I'll be able to get this done before he does. And once you've done that, the watercolour ink does dry quite quickly. Not as quickly as alcohol ink, but quite quickly. So to get a nice sharp image, you bring the moisture out of the watercolour ink on the stamp just by huffing it on it. So you literally just breathe onto it and the moisture in your breath will wet that stamp nicely and you get a nice clear image. So I'll just show you, just go like that, and then you stamp and you get your nice clear image.